This is the third part of the interview with Dr. Stevo, Pratt and Dr. Markus Schuckert about tourism development in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea or North Korea.
Okay, so tourism in North Korea contributes to local economy. It provides some basis for interaction between North Koreans and people from the outside. What are other impacts of tourism on North Korea, maybe in terms of politics, economy, or society?
My personal opinion from what I've seen is I think they're going to be open to tourism. We were told by our guides that the great marshal, Kim Jong-un, wanted to focus on tourism in the future. They have, in the recent years, set up a Pyongyang Tourism College where there's about 600 students learning about tourism. I met with, part of it was giving a talk about tourism outside, around the rest of the world. I think they were particularly interested in how other countries do tourism. In terms of the details of how they're going to make tourism work. Is it going to be, very controlled like to date, or are they going to be a little bit more open in terms of where tourists can go? I don't have the answers to that, but I think they need to, in terms of their economy, maybe less so for socio-cultural reasons, but at least for their economy, I think they need to open up to international trade, and part of that is tourism.
So let me give another perspective. So we take this from a Western perspective, and even from a Western perspective, you can travel to the capital. You can go for a marathon. You can go for winter tourism, skiing, or in a skiing resort, or you can go for summer tourism, hiking. So there are different packages offered, but this is for, let's say, for international Western-like tourists. Don't forget, there has been a resort, a joint undertaking between South Korea and North Korea, which, of course, unfortunately was closed after certain accidents. But so there are different activities, and then just think about the Chinese inbound tourism, which is coming from the northern border, and this is a complete different dimensions. There are coming lots of day visitors, trade visitors into North Korea. So this is a dimension we should not underestimate. So if you just talk about the Western tourists from certain countries, maybe this is rather limited. But I think there is a growing interest in China to go to North Korea, especially from their border with China. They build a new bridge. There could be even more self-drive tourism. So there is a lot of activity at this contact or touch point.
Yes, and I was told that every province had a special economic zone, and some of those allegedly had casinos in them that were frequented by the mainland Chinese tourists coming across the border via train and going to the casinos and then heading back. So I was told by a Western representative of that, but I was told by the North Korean academics that 95% or even higher of the tourists, international tourists, were from the Chinese mainland. So there's difficult numbers. If you search on the internet, there's numbers floating about in terms of how many actual tourists they're getting, but and that seemed to make sense from the hotel that I was staying at. They were predominantly Chinese tourists.